Hello, Johnny and Maud coming to you live from my basement again. And today we're going to talk about switches. We're going to configure two switches, Cisco 18, I'm sorry, a Cisco Catalyst 3560 and a Cisco Catalyst 2950. Um, we're going to go through the configuration process, and then we're going to set up some VLANs. Um, so to begin with, I have got two switches configured together in the 2950. I have my laptop that I'm recording this on out of port 0/2, and I have a another laptop. I'm sorry, I have actually it's going to be my Chinese tablet on port 7. Port 1, which has the crossover cable, is going to my Catalyst 3560, and it's port 1. And then in port 2 is going to another tablet. And in port 7 on the 3560, I have going to my old Windows XP. So to begin with, we're going to come over here to PuTTY, and we're going to load, we're going to go PuTTY via the um, console cable. It's a rollover cable connected to my laptop. So we're going COM3, speed 9600, and like I discussed in previous videos, I start every time I set up my lab. I start from the default configuration, and which is nothing. And I always answer no to do I want it to do it, go through the configuration dialog. Of course, now we have to wait a second while it gets started. So here we are, we're at this user mode or whatever that is. We'll hit enable and config T. First thing we're going to do, since we're on line console 0, we're going to configure line console 0. And we want to add, we don't want just anyone to be able to plug into the console. We want to add a password to it, and we want them to have to log in. I also like to do the logging synchronous so that it's less confusing. And then set my history size to 250. Um, that should do it for line console 0 right now. So X out of there. We also have the ability to VTY in. There's 16 ports we can VTY in. We'll set a password to those also, and we'll force a login. And when we VTY, I don't like it to be confusing with all the monitor messages interrupting my typing. And we'll also set that history size to 250. And we'll go through a VTY scenario later. All right. We've got to set our host name. I am currently connected to my 2950, and it's the middle switch on my rack. So that's what I'll label it as, and we'll set the banner. This is the middle switch. It's a 2950, and of course it's only for use by me. All right. Only other thing we need to do is when someone comes into the enable, we want them to have to type in a password, and we will encrypt that password by putting secret, and the password will be Cisco. All right, so the 2950 switch is now configured. We'll show the run real fast, and we can see here that's our Cisco password encrypted. And all the ports are up. So we have 24 ports, have no configuration to them, and they're all up. Everything now is on VLAN 1. Or VLAN 1 is the default VLAN, and all the ports are assigned to that. Line console 0, we're set there. Line VTY 0 through 4 set there, as well as 5 through 15. All right. Now we're going to set up so that's it. That switch is configured. We can use it. Switches don't require any configuration to use, so we can use it straight out of the box, but we have it configured with the basic configuration. Now, we're going to do VLANs, and why do we do VLANs? Multiple reasons. They create multiple broadcast domains. You can, so picturing the switches, each switch in a different building, but you have multiple departments in one building, so you can group the users by the department instead of by their building. So they'll be able to communicate with people in their own department and not people in other departments. It reduces the spanning tree protocol workload, and if you have VoIP, it separates the IP voice. You can separate the IP voice bits going on one VLAN and the data bits going on another VLAN. And just security. It separates sensitive data or just keeps people from accessing devices that they're not supposed to access. And the types, like we said, we got the data type for if you got VoIP, you got data, or you have voice VLANs. The default VLAN is VLAN 1. We're going to set up a black hole VLAN. That's one that all the ports that we're not using will go into. And then native VLAN. Native is going to be the common one for the trunking. All right, so let's start doing this. So we got to go in config T, configure the terminal. And so we're going to do VLAN 10. There's two ways to set up a VLAN. First way is you type in VLAN 10. Now it's created VLAN 10. We're going to name this users. And we'll exit out of that. The second way is to go straight into an interface. We'll say fast Ethernet 0 slash, let's say, what are we doing here? Let's say 7. Fast Ethernet 07. And we'll say switch port access VLAN 20. We haven't created VLAN 20, so it does it for us. So we'll exit out of that. But it doesn't name it, so we'll go into VLAN 20, and we'll name that one servers. All right, so we're going to create 2 VLANs for use, and then we're going to create a VLAN, a black hole VLAN. We'll call that one 666. And we'll actually name it black hole. And that's what we'll put all the ports that we're not using on. And we'll also, we're going to create a VLAN 99, and we'll call that's going to be our native VLAN. All right, we'll exit out of there. All right. So let's go do, since we're in config T, we're going to do the do before the show VLAN brief. All right, so what we have here is we've created 10 VLANs, 10, 20, 99, and 666. The only interface that's been assigned to a VLAN is 7. That's because we created VLAN 20 by telling interface 7 that switch port access was only for VLAN 20, and it created automatically. So let's assign the interfaces to the different VLANs. Only thing I'm not seeing here is fast Ethernet 1, and that's because it's currently I have that crossover cable going from port 1 on the 2950 to port 1 on the 3560, and it's a trunk port. So I guess that's why it's not showing here. So we're going to go to interface range, and we'll do fast Ethernet. We're going to go 0, 2 through let's say 6. So we'll do five ports for VLAN 10. So I'm just typing the first couple letters and hitting tab, and then and it fills in the rest for us. So we got switch port access VLAN 10. We'll exit out of there. Interface range fast Ethernet 0/7, and we'll do the same thing here. We'll do 5 ports. And with switch port access VLAN, we're going to put these servers. We're saying 7 through 11 are the servers. So we're just telling that switch port access VLAN 20. All right, and what we'll do then is the rest of the ports we're going to put on the black hole so that they are not able to access any of the users or the servers, any of the other end devices. So evidently Cisco recommends this for security reasons. Switch port access VLAN 666. I don't know if that's a good idea to name it that or not, but it seemed like a good idea for a black hole to me. All right, let's exit out of there and show VLAN brief. All right, so this is what we have. So we have no ports in the default, in VLAN 1, the default, which is recommended. We have 5 in each of the 10 and 20. The native VLAN 99, that's only for configuring the trunk, which we'll do now. So that just tells the trunk ports, the native VLAN here is 99, and then it's got a match on the other side. So go back into config T. And so what the VLAN trunk does is it's just Ethernet point-to-point link between the switches, and it can carry traffic of multiple VLANs. Interface. And so we're making fast Ethernet port 01 our switch port trunk. So now we are, like I said, I'm in the 2950, and it's a slight difference between the 2950 and the 3560. So we're going to make the switch port mode trunk. All right, and we're going to say the switch port trunk native VLAN is 99. All right, now we're going to start getting some errors because it's connected to the 3560 port 1, and it's saying the native VLAN is 1. Switch port, and we're only going to allow, we're not going to allow VLANs 99 or 666 to cross, because we want to limit, what they can do. So we're going to say switch port trunk allow VLAN 10, 20, and I believe this is the correct format. Yep. All right, and then exit. Now, one other thing we can do while we're here is we can make it so that we can telnet in to the switch, so that we don't have to connect our console cable. And we're going to do that because I have my laptop I'm working on here connected to port 2, which is under VLAN 10. We're going to interface. We're going to do interface VLAN 10, and we're going to give that an IP address. We'll do a Class B private address 172.16.0.1, and with a /24 subnet mask, and we'll say no shut on that. All right, exit out of there. So now we should be able to VLAN, telnet in. I didn't set it up for SSH. We'll do that another time. All right, so we've got this one. Let's see if we can in fact telnet in. I'm going to open up another instance of PuTTY. We're going to type in 172.168.0.1, and we'll telnet. We're clicking telnet, and we'll open. What I didn't tell you is that I've already set up the IP address on this device is 172.16.0.10, and it looks like we have access. We'll go enable. We got to type in a password. So good. Show VLAN. Let's show VLAN brief. All right. Let's show the interface trunk. Let me make this bigger. All right, so we have it in Fast Ethernet 01, encapsulations 8021Q, which we'll talk about in a second, because, and see, we can leave this one, this putty session up. I'll put it right over here. I am gonna, this is the putty session that we're using our console cable. And I am gonna switch the console cable now from the 2950 to the 3560. Now, because I set up my rack poorly, I have to reach around the back, and it's a pain to say the least. All right, so this putty session, we are now in the 3560. And so you can see I'm in the initial configuration, so we'll go through this one kind of fast. No, we don't want to do that. Enable config T. So we'll do line console 0. So synchronous size 250. Like I say, I do this every time, and I'm getting to where I barely need to use any notes to configure my switches or my routers. We'll also do line VTY 0 to 15. I'm just going to do the password Cisco and log in. I won't do the other things. Host name. This is my top. It wants me to complete it. So the host name is going to be top switch, and this is the 3560 banner. I'm just going to type something fast. Top switch. All right. And so we need to do the same thing as far as setting up the VLANs. And then you don't have to exit out. If you go in, if you type in VLAN 20, now we're configuring VLAN 20. And we're going to name them the same thing, VLAN 99. I'm going to call that native. Oh. So name native and VLAN 666, and we're going to call that the black hole. All right. Again, I'm going to hit up arrow, scroll over here, and put name. All right. So now we're getting, see this mismatch we're getting right here? This is because we still haven't set up our trunk on the this 3560 to say that the native VLAN is 99. All right, so we'll exit out of there. So we are now just in config T. Show VLAN brief. All right, so we don't have any of the ports set up to any of the VLANs. So we'll do that now. We'll do interface range, fast Ethernet 0, 2 through 6. So trying to do it quickly and making errors. We're going to say that switch port access VLAN 10. Interface range fast Ethernet 0/7 through 11. Switch port access VLAN. We're just calling that 20. And then we're going to put the rest of them on the black hole 0/12. And remember, this is the 3560, so it has 48 ports. So we won't have anything on the default VLAN 1. All right, let's show. Exit out of that. Do show. We're going to show our VLAN brief. So we do have to configure. I forgot the 3560 has 4 gigabyte ports, giga, but internet 0/1 through 4. We're going to put those on the black hole. Black hole also switch port access. VLAN 666. So now let's do the do show VLAN brief again. So now we have nothing on the default, and the users has 5, the servers has 5, the native has none, and the rest are in the black hole. All right, that's what we wanted. And now let's set up the VLAN trunk. So we're setting that up on interface fast Ethernet 0/1, and we're gonna. So for this one, remember last time we just did switch port mode trunk. We did this on the 2950. Here it doesn't work. First we have to do switch port trunk encapsulation, and then you get 3 choices of what you want to do, and we're going to use the .1Q. That's seems to be what everybody uses. And then now we'll do it switch port mode trunk and switch port trunk native native VLAN 99. And also what we want to do is say what's allowed. Allowed VLAN, and again we're only allowing VLANs 10 and 20. Alright, so alright, let's show interface. Sorry, like that there, show interface trunk. So we have fast Ethernet 0/1. Now that we have everything configured on the switches, let's remember what we're doing here. We have my station to my right, the Windows XP laptop, and the cheap tablet. That's our VLAN 20, and it's our servers. We're pretending they're servers. And then I've got my everyday tablet and my primary laptop as VLAN 10, and this is what we're calling our users. So let's see about pinging. So let me come down. Trying to get, let me get to my command line. So we got the command prompt, and so ipconfig, we'll do that real fast just to confirm that we are in 172. This is 160.10, and we're going to try and ping 172.16.0.6. That's the tablet that's in VLAN 10. And we're pinging it. And this is probably not going to work because, of course, I have Norton set on the Quantum View tablet. And let me go ahead and disable the smart firewall. I do this all the time, 10 times a day, or every time I set this up. I don't do it that much. We'll try it again, and now we're getting replies. Now remember, these are in the same VLAN. Now let's try and ping the devices in the VLAN 20. So we got 176.0.7 and 8. So we'll try 7 first. And this is the small tablet, and we're getting a destination host unreachable. This is what it should be doing, because we're saying that we don't want this computer to be able to speak to that computer. We want them in different VLANs. And now let's try 8. 8 being the old Windows XP laptop. And once again, we're getting host unreachable. So that is configuring the switch and setting up VLANs. Now, like I have said in previous videos, and I say on every video, I like to end every day at working and set the switches and routers back to their default status, which is without configuration. So what to do that with these, since we have set VLANs up, first thing we need to do is delete the flash, and the file is the VLAN.dat. All right, so we delete that. Delete file name VLAN.dat. Yes. Now let's so if we show the VLAN brief, it'll still be in there because it's in the running config. What I haven't shown you is how to copy your running config to your startup config. But just know you should do that every time when you configure a router or switch. But this is in our running config, so when we reload it, that's when the VLANs will go away. So we no longer have on the, this is the, which one is this hooked up to? This is hooked up to the 3560, this putty session I'm working on right now. So we've deleted the VLAN.dat. Now we're going to delete the configuration files. All right. So with nvram's complete, now we'll reload that, and system configuration's been modified. No, we do not want to save it, because if we save it, then we're saving it to the startup config, and we don't want to do that, because I want to start with it fresh each time. Now remember this putty session, you can see that we're telnetted in, and this is telnetted in to the Catalyst 2950, and obviously the middle switch here, the 2950. So again, we need to delete from flash the VLAN.dat. Delete file. Yes, I definitely want to do it. And then we'll do write erase. All right. Yep. It's going to remove all our configuration files. That's complete. And now we will reload. And again, no for that, because saying yes saves it to startup, and we'll reload. And again, that telnet session ended quickly and abruptly because it's no longer configured for telnet, and only way to get to it now is through the console cable. All right, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, please put them in the comments or email me. If you have any suggestions, any ideas for future videos, let me know. All right, have a good day, and as always, good luck.